Hi and welcome to GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions. I'm doing a review on this is the Mark II Panasonic Lumix, I suppose you call it like a mega zoom lens. It's the 14 to 140. As you can see here, it's mounted on the Panasonic Lumix GH3. Right, so as you know, I previously had the older version of this lens, which was quite a nice lens, nothing particularly untoward about it, nothing wrong with it. It was a fairly chunky lens for the Micro Four Thirds, quite a weighty thing, not heavy by any means, but when obviously the lighter, smaller version came out, that was definitely a better option in my opinion, especially as this is generally going to be used on the GH3 and by my partner, and ultimately what she wants is a one lens setup which is nice and light, and this really does fit the bill. Just quickly pop the lens off and the hood, which you obviously get with it. We have a 58mm filter thread, metal rear, very nice quality. Similar look to the 12 to 35 2.8 and also the 45 to 150 lens. And while I'm on the subject of the 45 to 150, this sort of really, apart from cost, which may come into it, but then you've got to think this would replace two lenses potentially. The 45 to 150 was a lovely lens. I've had that before, really nicely made, really nice lens, but what's the point of it when you can have the 14 to 140? You don't get particular issues with loads of barrel distortion or anything like that. This is still a 3.5 to 5.6 lens, so it's not too slow a lens. It's a bit quicker than the old one. I think that was an f4 to 5.8, which was a bit weird. So yeah, it sort of negates the need for that 45 to 150 now. I mean, the other lens I have, which I do like because it's got the extra reach and it doesn't trombone, there are two things I like about it, is the 45 to 175, and obviously this is a lot thinner than that, and let's see, when it's tromboned it's just a little bit taller, and weight wise, to be honest, there's not a lot in it. And when I'm talking about weight with these particular lenses, there's really hardly any weight in them at all. They're just lovely and lightweight and cute and dinky, to be fair. So as a lens to replace others, this is replacing obviously the 14 to 42 or the 14 to 45 and the 45 to 150. It doesn't quite replace the 45 to 175. I do like the extra reach that this gives, and I use that together with the 12 to 35 2.8, and that system works really well. It's covering a really good range. But if I could only have one lens and camera and nothing else, my choice would be the GH4 with one of these on, because it's got the really nice wide 28mm equivalent up to a really long telephoto 280mm equivalent. Obviously your compromise is it's not quite as wide as some and it's not quite as long as others, but you're getting it all in a small, lightweight, well made, really well made actually, package, which is fantastic. Great for video because of, again, the range. You don't have to keep swapping lenses, and also I think you're more likely to get a shot. You're less likely to miss a shot, because I mean, you know, now and again I've had the wrong lens on, and I'm not going to get the shot I want because I haven't got the right lens on, and you have to swap, and then you might have missed the shot. So there is that to take into consideration as well. Personally, I prefer the fast 2.8 lens, which is my 12, and it's a little bit wider, 12 to 35, and the 45 175 combination. That's not to say I wouldn't use this, and I may even get one of these to complement my kit in the future. And it's the sort of thing I'll just pick up a second-hand one at some point in the future, because at £500 I think it's a little bit pricey at the moment, but you can pick them up a little bit cheaper than that, and you know, as people get second-hand ones, they will become a little bit cheaper in the future. I'm just going to pop up a couple of pictures just to show you the range. This is focused on the little metal dog in the garden, and now I'll just do the next picture, which is basically the same shot but zoomed fully in. So that just gives you an idea of the range. I've also put up a couple of pictures just of my dogs. I've not had a great deal of time with this lens, it's just my initial thoughts. Just to show that, you know, when you're shooting at the 140 or 280mm equivalent, you can get good bokeh, you can get you know, a nice blurry background even at 5.6. It's fairly easy to do with a lens that long because of the compression, and works really well. Autofocus is absolutely fine, as is with pretty much every lens that I've come across on the Micro Four Thirds system. I think that says more about the camera's focusing systems, as I suppose, as well as the lens. But yeah, I mean, no issues on anything. I've tried it on the Olympus OMD M5, works absolutely fine on that. It seems to switch its own image stabilization off, and it uses the in-body stabilization on the EM5. I don't quite know how it does it, but you don't have to turn it off, it just seems to work fine. Works fine on the GH3, GH4, no problems at all. On the EM5, it's because it's not particularly heavy and not particularly chunky lens, it actually fits it quite nicely. And if you've got like perhaps an EP5 or an EPL5 or 3 or 7, or one of the smaller Micro Four Thirds bodies, perhaps a GX7, this won't overwhelm it. Even when it's fully zoomed out, it's not heavy, it's not massively long, it doesn't trombone, you know, miles out. Certainly a lot less than the last one. It's about half the size and weight of the old one overall. So it won't overwhelm a smaller camera. And again, as a sort of a super wide range on one body, if you're going away perhaps for a day and you can only really fit one camera and lens in, really that's an ideal solution. Negatives. No, not any. Image stabilization is very similar to the wonderful. It's really good. I reckon it's probably worth about 3 stops, 4 if you can handheld, you know, really well, if you're pretty good at holding. But yeah, at least 3 stops worth. It's not weather sealed, which is a shame, but you have to deal with that. Really got nothing bad to say about it. I would like to say, I'd like to give an informed sort of, is there anything bad? It could be wider at 12mm, I suppose, but could be a little bit longer. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly nothing bad about it. So can I think of anything negative to say about this lens? Well, no, because you don't normally, with these super zoom lenses, when I've reviewed them for sort of full-size digital SLRs, crop sensors, full-frame sensors, etc., I've had issues with distortion. But because it's taken care of, because when the lens connects to the camera, it tells it what it's doing and what it is, and it basically takes out the distortion for you before you even get to any sort of Lightroom or anything. And that's great for, like, as I said, for my partner, because she doesn't use Lightroom. She's not going to go in and change distortion and all that. She basically takes her pictures off of the camera and puts them onto her iPad, and then either uploads them to wherever or just shows people them on the iPad, orders prints online with them. Doesn't actually do any editing to her photos, and that's the beauty of this system. A, you can set the camera up to do that, and B, the lens tells the camera what it's doing and corrects for all of those things anyway. So image quality is absolutely fine. It's what you would expect from a lens. You know, it's not a pro lens, but it's sharp, it's contrasty, the two things I look for, and there's just no issues. You don't get issues particularly with flare unless you're really asking for trouble shooting directly into the light. You will get a lower contrast image, and you may get a little bit of flare showing up, but it's certainly not a problem with this lens. And I just think as a one-stop shop, it's a fantastic lens, even as an additional lens just to take out and think, right, I don't want to mess about swapping lenses out. So I just want to go out and shoot. I don't know what I'm going to shoot. I don't know if it's going to be landscapes. I don't know if it's going to be kids running around. You know, my nephew's playing football or something. It doesn't matter. I can take that lens and pretty much shoot anything with it. So This has been GRVO TV, G's Reviews, Views and Opinions, my initial thoughts and review on the Panasonic Lumix 14 to 140 Super Zoom lens. I'll see you soon. Cheers, bye.